Hello, my friends, and welcome to Freedom Law School's Freedom Hour. So this recording tonight, I'm going to talk about a interesting observation I came across the IRS recently, and that is how stupid and incompetent IRS is. Okay, let me just go off. I'll be right back. Just a momentary, of course. Give me just 2 seconds. I'll be right back. Yes, IRS is very stupid and incompetent. How stupid and incompetent, you'll see. So hang on, you have fun to see your enemies are not as powerful as they want you to believe. Watch their actions. Ready to get going? Okay. Okay, let's do a countdown.
3, 2, 1, go.
Hello to my freedom-seeking friends. I'm Antiquated, the president of Freedom Law School, which started in 1996. I'm going to show you in this broadcast how IRS is so stupid, broken, incompetent, and lazy. How bad? So bad that they are letting millionaires go, people that make a lot of money go, and they're wasting their money going after mere pennies. Yes. So with that, let's go see it all for yourself. Here's a letter I got recently. One of our students, or prospective students, I forgot which one, comes from this place called the Coast Professional Inc. in Geneseo, New York, with this toll-free number, okay? You can call them if you want to, for curiosity. It's a bill for the IRS. That's right. They're collecting for the IRS. And it's very new, May 5th, 2025. All right, well, of course, we blacked out the person's information to protect their privacy. And they're saying, dear so-and-so, okay, as previously notified. This is not their first letter they sent to this person. Coast Professional, a private collection agency, is a contractor for the Internal Revenue Service, IRS. Okay. The IRS has placed your past due tax obligation with our agency for collection. Okay, and you can verify the name and address of Coast and our authority to contract with the IRS by visiting irs.gov. Okay? And this is an annual reminder notice of your tax delinquency. Okay? And if you are currently in a payment arrangement or working with Coast to resolve your account, you do not need to respond to this letter. Otherwise, please contact one for our customer care representative to assist you with resolving your account. Okay? Basically pay the IRS. Now, so here's this interesting thing. The IRS, they cannot send the annual reminder that people owe the money themselves. How incompetent can an agency be? They cannot send a simple little dumb computer-generated automated letter to people that owe money on their own. They have to contract a third party to do that for them. What? Now, it gets more interesting. After they brag about how they're required to maintain the security and privacy of your tax information, right? Then a little bit go down, you find out some more interesting thing about them, okay? They say important, do not mail any payments to the Coast, okay? They say this communication is from a debt collector. This is an attempt to collect the debt, but they don't collect the debt themselves anyways. No. See? They don't collect any debt at all. But check this out first. Look at the amount that they claim this person owes. You owe $658,000 and change for these tax periods. Wow. Look at that. Tax period 2012 through 2022. So you got 12, you got 16, 17, 18, 19, all the way through 20, 21, and 22, right? And the balance due for each of those years is 81,000, 81,000, 99,000, 85,000, over 100,000, 63,000, 120,000, and 14,000. My gosh, this guy is not a small chicken. Okay, the tax was, of course, first anywhere from 47,000 to 70,000, but penalty interest grew it to the over 120,000 at the biggest year. But this is a lot of money. This ain't some chump change. Why doesn't the IRS go after a guy that owes them over $500 million themselves? Even an annual reminder? All it takes, as far as I know, is a printer that has ink and paper in it. Oh, postage meter. And they can send it out to people. You can do that. I can do that. IRS cannot do that without giving it to an outside agency. Imagine how broken the IRS really is. They cannot send out the bill themselves. Okay? And of course, while they had it, guess what they say? They say that, in addition, IRS has placed the following unfiled tax return periods with the coast. Let you know that for your 2023, okay, you have not paid the IRS anything either, okay? So here's just a so interesting thing. And then it says that payment method says all payments are made to the IRS. Do not send payments to the coast. Well then, what are you doing there, Coast? Oh, I know what Coast does. They have actually computers and printers and a postage meter that works. I guess IRS cannot consistently get its printers and computers and postage meters to work well together. Now, so on the other hand, I'm going to show you something interesting. Look at the IRS, okay? How, they're having trouble collecting money from people. This is on our website, freedomlawschool.org. See, IRS cannot even keep up with filers who have confessed to owe the IRS money, and it shows in this chart that forced collections or levies are down by more than 90% since 2011, going down to 2021. This is a long-term trend, everybody. It's not a new thing. This has been, going on for over the course of many, many years, and still IRS hasn't come up. This is from the Taxpayer Advocate Service. We got this information. Okay? Now, that's why they're sending money out to third parties. They're so broken, they cannot even send levy or collection notices to banks or employers of people and tell them, hey, this guy owes us money. Give us his paycheck. Hey, give us the money he has in his bank account. They can't do that. They're so broken, they send out these collection efforts to third party on the outside. By the way, the collection agency has no power to take your money from your bank account, paycheck, or otherwise. All they can do is to beg you, please pay the IRS for us. Would you please? Why? Because they're not government employees. Only IRS's own employees can take your money by force. Filer or non-filer, it doesn't matter. And they're not able to do that. So giving your case to a truthless private collection agency. And the reason for all this is because IRS and its computer systems have been slowly falling apart since the 1980s. Yes, they've been trying to fix their computers since the 1980s. The 16-year-old individual master file, okay? And in the 2023 Government Account Report, GAO, said that IRS suspended operations essential to replacing this 6-year-old IMF. And they used to have the 2030 target completion date for replacing this antiquated IMF that IRS announced last year that it is not known when they'll be fixing, changing, updating it, which means they're just tired of just playing games with you and giving you a date again and not make it. Look at this, okay? This is article below, 4 years of failure, right here. Clicked on that. This article is called 4 Years of Failure, IRS Unable to Fix Computer System. It came out in 2022 by Americans for Tax Reform. And here it is. It just lists one after another for over 40 years. IRS has tried and failed to update its main computer system. And this is not some cockamamie report. This is all mainstream sources. Way back in 1982, the New York Times reported the IRS could have updated its computers. Back in 82, it was behind the times. Back in 82, they're having problems. They should have updated, but they couldn't do it. It was reported. And then you see, another one. Back in 85, Time Magazine reports IRS cannot update its system. Again, 85, this one, Washington Post reports IRS cannot update its computers. This article shows decades of all these repeated reports. As the New York Times, these guys saying IRS is so broken, they cannot update the computers that needed to be done. And they keep not doing it and not able to do it. That means now you cannot update and switch from 1960s technology to 2025 technology. You just can't merge those two. No, you can't. They have to just walk on those old crutches until it finally one day breaks apart. Because if they try to switch over, they may have just overnight, whole thing can break down, and they don't want to risk that. Okay? Now, I've showed you guys before this. This is May 2020, another Treasury Inspector General report that basically says that the IRS refuses to go after extremely rich non-filers. It talks about high-income non-filers owing billions of dollars are not being pursued or worked by the IRS. High-income non-filers, right? U.S. Treasury auditors gave the IRS a list of the 100 richest income tax non-filers who each would owe the IRS about $100 million, and recommended to the IRS to go after these people for taxes. Now you'd think, come on, that's so easy. Easy money. 100 people, each of them owes $100 million. Just assign maybe, 10 agents with 10 each. That should be so easy, right? But no. Here was the IRS's response. The IRS is so broken, disorganized, lazy, and irresponsible that the IRS refused to commit to going after these extremely rich, high-income non-filers. Yep. That's how bad it is, the IRS's incompetence. So that's why you're seeing what you are seeing now, okay? Now, and this is a report, again, that part of it, that a recommendation 4 they made to the IRS. They tell the IRS that consider working at the top 100 non-filed cases identified for tax year 2014 to 2016 that have not been resolved by referring the cases to the collection function or the examination function or criminal investigation special agents, enforcement actions. Yep. But the IRS stated that all high-income non-filers for years 16 through 18 were selected, and IRS plans to continue selected high-income non-filers in the future, which they did not even do that. Not only they did nothing about 2014 through 16 non-filers that they were asked about, they promised they do something for 2016 to 18. But I can tell you they have not done so. Okay, and I believe because the IRS publicizing how IRS has fallen apart, they finally are trying to send some letters. Okay, some contact after going non-filers, but it's so disorganized, so messed up. Look how messed up the IRS is, how stupid they are and inefficient they are, okay? So here it is. Now you think when you go after somebody, you're going to go after high income people, right? Go after somebody who owes the IRS $100 million, $10 million, $1 million, maybe owe the IRS $100,000, right? But no. IRS is wasting its scarce resources that it has remaining within it. Go after pennies. Here, 2 examples recently, okay? This is a notice of deficiency from IRS's office in Austin, Texas, okay? And notice of deficiency is official tax proposal letter IRS must send out and give a chance to go to tax court. And this was March 3rd, 2025. Amount due, look at that, under $1,000, $710 for year 2021. Okay? So here it is. We got this document here that the proposed amount due is $710. But that's not true. It's actually less than that. You go down on this document, okay, further, you see that on the next page they say, oh, look at this. This person had already made a payment of over almost $1,700, so the net tax due is only $265. Wow. They leave the rich people alone, and they're going after somebody who owes as much of a traffic ticket, and they're going to give him a chance to have a full-blown trial with discovery, interrogatories, request for protection documents, trial, briefing schedule, right? Motion, all that stuff for $265? Yeah. That's what they're doing. In fact, the other one, they sent, I see, another one, notice deficiency was done. Same date, March 3rd, sent out by dumb computer in IRS's Austin, Texas office again. IRS form notice number CP3219N. Here, it's all a little bit bigger. Proposed amount due is about $1,700, but the actual number due is not that much. After you take out the person, how much they have prepaid, which in this case the total payments was about $1,700, the net tax due is $815. They're going to have lawyers on this case. IRS appeals officer works this case. Judge on this case. All this stuff is going to cost the IRS government far, far more than $1,000 they want from these 2 people, low-income people. Now, it doesn't show that the IRS goes after poor people. No, that's not what it shows. What it shows is that, come on, they're unable to make simple business decisions to go after the big money guy first before they waste their money, have to go to the little ants. Okay? That's what it shows. No common sense. Would you do that? Of course not. Okay? So that's the thing to know about the IRS. It's really such a broken agency. You don't have to be afraid of these guys. They don't even know what they're doing. You have been made to be afraid of the IRS like the Wizard of Oz has done to Dorothy and her friends. Okay? The corrupt major media is the one that told you, you know, be afraid of the IRS. They'll put you in prison if you don't file. File! File the 1040 tax form! Otherwise you go to prison! Whoa. Here, you open a curtain. I've done for you that. You see that? What do you see? Bunch of incompetent IRS employees, lazy, a 1960s COBOL assembly language, antiquated computers still to this day. And this was helped also by the broadcasters, preachers, by the way, the accountant community also. Those people are very helpful too. Accountants, CPAs, tax attorneys, they've been pushing this fear of IRS will get you if you don't file a tax return. If you don't confess the Irish money, they will get you. Why? Because they make money off of you. If you're not afraid of the IRS, you stop filing. What will these accountants, CPAs, enrolled agents, and tax attorneys do? I know they may have to go get a real job, something productive, versus making you a slave for a living. That's why they keep doing that. Because they're wasting all this money and time going to higher education to make you a slave of the government. Do you want that? Well, of course you don't, okay? So I'm going to show you the real picture of the IRS. This is from a cartoon called The Bug's Life. The grasshoppers is the IRS, the establishment, the deep state, okay? And the ants that we'll talk about, you see right here in just 1 minute, is the American people who've been duped to become slaves and pay the Irish money because they've been made so afraid of the grasshoppers, the IRS, and the deep state. Ready? Let's go have some fun. It's a fun little video. You will love it, okay? Here we go. This is my Hopper and A Bug's Life.
You're right. It's just one ant.
Yeah, boss. They're puny.
Puny. Say, let's pretend this grain is a puny little ant.
Did that hurt?
No.
Well, how about this one?
Are you kidding?
How about this? You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line.
Yes. They consider you and I a puny little ant. Yes. That's how they look at us, at you and I. And this puny little ant stood up to them, and they noticed that they'd been leaving non-filers alone. So they said, oh, we got to stop. Because if you, the American puny little ants, ever realize this grasshopper leeches of the IRS and the deep state, you outnumber them over 1,000 to 1. There goes the source of money and life of the deep state and the IRS and the crooks that are feeding off of you. That's what makes Washington real estate the most expensive real estate in the country. Because your money is going there for these leeches to bid up the price of houses in D.C. Do you accept that? Do you see yourself as a puny little ant? Or do you see yourself as a man, as a woman, who can think, eyes to see, ears to hear, and think for yourself like a human being? If you can, you got what it takes to live free, and let's work together, expose to all Americans that we're going to take back our freedoms. That's what we got to do. Let me show you something exciting. This is on our website, freedomlawschool.org. This is a letter from the IRS in Washington, D.C. in 1998 to this guy named Juan Abel in Portland, Oregon. And here's what they say. Based on our 1996 tax filing program, we estimate there are approximately 63 million taxpayers who have not filed a tax return and initially would appear to have a legal requirement to file. 63 million people. That's back in 1996, 29 years ago. Today the number is probably 80 to 90 million. Who knows? And this estimate is based on data available to the IRS on the individual master file. They know about you. It's a guess. Yes. So let me ask you, is there 63 million people in prison who don't file income tax returns? Or 63 million people having their bank account and paycheck seized by the IRS because they don't file? Of course not. So it's a myth that if you don't file, they'll come and get you. Oh, you're going to be a martyr. You'll be the first one. No, it's all garbage, folks. It's all fooling you. You can get out of the matrix of deception. Morpheus, each of you is a Neo to free yourself. But it's up to you to make that decision to go forward and be free. What you want to do, people, is to go to our website, see all this for yourself. Of our 7 steps, step 3 is realize IRS operates on deception and bluff. I'll just expose that to you in a little bit different way in this presentation, okay? You will stop hanging yourself. No more filing 1040 confession tax forms. That is our step 2. Stop filing tax forms, okay? Okay, now step 1, of course, is on the law. Step 4 is on the myth of IRS inadmissibility. It's just a little lizard, not Godzilla, that the media makes it for you. Because the fact of the matter is that no student of Freedom Law School since 2001 who stopped filing and paying income tax with Freedom Law School first has ever gone to prison for federal taxes, nor had the paycheck or bank account levied or business seized by the IRS. That's a fact. And you see our victories, myself and our students, many of them are documented if you go see it in step 4 for yourself. And you don't have to pay tribute to the beast or worship the beast of the IRS, okay? You can be free. Write petitions to your congressman, and you keep yourself out of jail, out of tax prison, while you are doing political action to educate our lawmakers, to stop the IRS, the DOJ, and the deep staters from making American people slaves. You have a right to do that. And you can go on our website, right on the right here, up there on the top. Okay, you can go to the drop-down menu, free yourself from tax withholding. The third thing, click on that. And if you're an employee, you could stop your employer from stealing your money out of your paycheck, income tax, out of your paycheck. It's free. That's right. For free, go stop your employer from stealing money out of your paycheck, your pension, all that stuff. Sample forms, instructions in writing and video are there. Please help yourself. Then you don't have to file to get a little bit of that stolen money back. No need. You have the whole thing for yourself to begin with because you work for it. It is your money, my friends. Remember? Not theirs. Okay? And options available. If you have a spirit of America's founding fathers, you really stand for freedom. You believe in what we're doing. You want to support America and become free again like these people. You want to join hands with Freedom Law School and Donald Trump and drain the swamp, get our country back. You can do that. Okay? We provide you a Restore Freedom plan. You can join. Yes. And again, it is only if you have the spirit of modern founding fathers in you. The privilege of 100% guarantee is available to you. Yeah. Besides 100% guarantee, when you legally stop filing and pay income taxes, as long as you are a member of the Restore Freedom Plan, Freedom Law School will prevent the IRS from leaving your money or Freedom Law School and will reimburse you if they take your money. Whatever the IRS takes from you, we'll give it back to you. That's right. 100% guarantee, zero risk to you, my friends. By joining hands together, okay? It's about, like Benjamin Franklin said, gentlemen, founding fathers, we shall hang together to win, or we can hang separately. Don't be separate, be together, and that's how we can give this great guarantee to each of you who wants to join. And you will not go to prison, of course, as well. And the last but not least, remember to love everyone you know. Tell them to join the Restore Freedom Plan. Tell them the truth, the law, and have American families in America be educated, empowered to live free. Restore America. Make America free great again by starting with individuals and families being great and free again. Okay, and we'll pay you if you love and spread the truth. Yes, that's all you gotta do. Share our message, share our website. Okay, text it to your friends, email it to your friends on your social media posts. Freedom Law School. Call us. We mail you our Restore Freedom brochures for free. Yes, has a website on there, our message, phone number, and we mail them to you for free. And if you put your name, phone number, or your private 7-digit number we give you here, when they call us, we'll call you. Say, hey, look out. There's some cash and mail coming to you, or gold, or crypto. Wow, what a wonderful way to live like I do. I get to have the privilege of the exciting job of having you live free, and it supports me. I don't like these guys. I don't like the crooks. I don't like the bullies to bully you and steal from you. I want you to be free. I love you, and I want you to be able to live your life the way God wants to, which is you make your choices, not by these thieves who want to steal your money and then control you, tell you what to do or not to do with your life. But the bottom line is, I cannot make you free. Only you can make yourself free. I can take a horse to water, but I cannot make the horse drink. You got to make the time. As you drive around town, go to our website, freedomlawschool.org, and put on your smartphone our videos up and listen to them as you drive to work or back home or shopping, whatever you do. And then when you get to lunch, at work, dinner at home, put our videos up. This time, watch and listen as you're enjoying your meal. You can do that, right? You can do two things at one time. It's easy. I do it all the time. That's how I educated myself. Doing meal times by myself. I can do that. Sometimes I pay for my family members as well, if they're with me. So do that, folks, and you'll be free and have America together make it a free country, glorious for freedom, peace, and prosperity for everybody. Thanks for being with me. Go to freedomlawschool.org tonight and tomorrow. Okay, I'm back now to get to your questions you have. For many people, this is a favorite part of the program because they want to hear different situations and questions, how do I answer those, and what the solution is for them if they have a similar kind of a concern. So the number for the Freedom Hour, I'm going to put on the screen for you, okay? And guys, I need a pen knife in here and a pad. Could you gentlemen give me a pen and pad, please? So the number you see on the screen is 424-552-1299. Telephone keypad. You press 1. That lets me know you have a question. And then we take your questions in order. Again, the number to call is 424-552-1299. Then on your telephone keypad, you press 1. And I will take your questions in order. And we have a few people who send papers with questions. I will get to those people as well. Okay? So let's see. Bobby, if you are a caller, you send a paperwork for us to answer, let me know if you send me your paperwork already, because up to 10 pages of questions you send to me, I'll review it, I'll answer it for you as best as I can during any of our Freedom Hours. If it's longer than 10 pages, I may not do it, or I'll just scan it, okay? Because, look, I cannot just, go waste my time going to 100 pages of some legal essay, okay? So make it short. I'll be sure to help you for free. Some of you may need a private one-on-one paid consultation. If that's the case, I'll recommend that. But I really try my best to answer your questions right here in full if possible, okay? So now let's go identify our callers. The first one is from area code 214. Second one is from area code 503. Next, we have a call from area code 515. Then we have another call from area code 646. Then another call from area code 360. Followed by a call from area code 920. So, people, make your questions quick to the point so I can get to the next people who are waiting, okay? 214 area code caller. please give me first your first name, how you heard about Freedom Law School, and then get your question briefly. Are you there from America 214? You need to turn your computer down so you can hear me. Turn your computer down and answer me if you're ready. What's your name? Okay.
Okay, hi. My name's Susan.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Susan. Go ahead.
Yes.
Susan, turn your computer down. Just be on the call with me. Turn the computer down, volume, because we can hear the echo of that.
Hello?
Of me on that thing. Yes, turn your computer down, Susan, please.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. You hear me? You don't hear me? Okay, she got a computer problem, looks like. We're going to come back to you, Susan. You got a sound problem. Check your computer equipment, okay?
Okay.
I'll come back to you later, Susan. Okay, all right. Let's go to area code 503 caller. You're live, my friend. Give me, please, your first name, how you heard about Freedom Law School, and then your question, please. Are you there, area code 503 caller? There we go. It wasn't going live. Here we go.
Let's go to area code 5.
Announce yourself. 503 area code caller. Are you there? One more try.
Can you hear me, Paymon?
Yes. Your name?
Hello?
Yes.
Hey, Paymon, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you. I hear you. I hear you very good, but you don't hear me.
Is this 503?
Yes, 503, but you don't hear me at all?
Hi, I can't hear you.
Okay, all right. Well, there's two in a row, maybe our end. But let's put you on hold. Let's see. We're going to see what's going on. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. While we try to double-check our systems, make sure that it works, I'll move over some questions of people who sent us some written questions, okay? Because it could be on our end. We're going to double-check our sound system. I have a one-page document from Natalia in California, who has a letter from the California Franchise Tax Board, which is the most aggressive and lawless state tax agency in America, far more aggressive than the IRS and far better organized than the IRS. Here's a tax lien notice. She has for year 2018 and 2020 for about $8,500. All it says is a recorded estate tax lien in a county recorder's office of the San Luis Obispo County because there's a balance due of this $8,500. There's nothing I can do about this, Natalia. I have no idea with one piece of paper how this tax came to be, what the problem was, what to do. They just, all this lien does, though, is if you have real estate in San Luis Obispo County and you decide to sell or refinance it, the FTB will get paid first, this $8,500, before you get any money. So, if you own no house, or if you do own a house, but it's not in San Luis Obispo County where the tax lien is filed, you will just find it does not affect you. I would not worry that by itself. Okay? All right, let's go to the callers. Maybe we fix the problem, perhaps. Area code 503 caller. Let's try you again. Do you hear me now from area code 503?
Yes, I can hear you, Paymon. Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you. What is your name?
Okay, it's Tess. And I'm in Oregon. And
your first name?
I was a member last. Tess. T-E-S-S.
T-E-S-S. And how did you hear about Freedom Law School, Tess?
I was a member last year, and I'd heard about you guys from other things. So the reason why I haven't signed up this year is when I signed up last year, I didn't realize that I needed to file my Oregon taxes, okay?
Okay, and?
My computer. So I went ahead and filed this year, just recently, for the 2023 year for Oregon, okay? Mm-hmm. And it's based on the federal, okay? And then I had to get a home equity loan to go ahead and pay the 2024 year, because what I did is I lost some income last year. I had some disability income, lost it. I took a disbursement from my IRA, and so I had a huge tax amount due on that. So it took me weeks and weeks to get the home equity. I still haven't paid the July one because I just got approved for that. But here's my question. Okay, so I own a house.
Mm-hmm.
My big concern is with Doge coming in and putting the AI systems into all the networks, all the backbone. This is green-lighted. The new big, beautiful bill is basically going to say no legislation on AI for the next 10 years. And my big concern is that, and also I did just get a letter saying, hey, you didn't file your 2023 taxes from the IRS. So there's a couple things going on. And I want to sign up again, but my big concern is like, because I own a house, I took that disbursement, I just got that letter from the IRS for 2023. Am I like more at risk because I have a house and I took an IRA disbursement, or what do you think? That's where I'm at.
No, you're no extra risk. By the way, I'll cover next week how IRS is sending a bunch of these dumb, computer-generated, toothless letters asking you to file a tax return. We just got a bunch of them, over 20 of them this week. So I'll cover that next week in more detail. But for right now, no, those letters mean nothing at all. It's just a dumb computer sending out a letter to a bunch of people. It's not a notice of deficiency. That's a letter they must send out by law, which gives you a chance to challenge the IRS in tax court. Okay?
Okay. So you get that every year then, basically.
You may get that. That letter, they can send it to you every year, every month. It's completely meaningless by law. Okay? The only letter that matters, number one, is the notice deficiency, and then collection due process hearing letters. There's very few of those that matter. Most of this stuff is just scare letters to get you to put the rope around your neck, sign a 1040 under penalty of perjury, give the rope to the IRS to pull, and yank your chain and hang you. Okay?
So just pick the IRA disbursement, though. That doesn't put me at higher risk in house. That's what I was worried.
Nope, not at all.
So
You're
talk
fine.
About the integration that they're doing right now, putting all this stuff. Does that concern you at all?
No. All this talk about AI, artificial intelligence, IRS going to implement in the system is a bunch of hogwash. Again, it's more propaganda, lies by the mainstream media, because they cannot integrate that within the IRS system. They have over 60 offices. They have over 23 different systems operating within their antiquated stuff. Some is way back antiquated to 1960s, some a little bit newer. They're not organized like you think they should be. Again, they cannot be. They haven't been. You should study them on our website, step 3. No. Read the IRS government's own reports, treasury reports, government account reports. These auditors say no. They're just so messed up. Don't worry about that. You'll be just fine. We can protect you 100% from any IRS attacks for any and all the money you took out of your IRA, sold your home, sub stocks, crypto, business, home, whatever you made as a salaried person, business owner. It doesn't matter. All of you can join and be safe.
They're implementing, going through all these systems. They're already saying, hey, we're going to get the illegals out of there from the IRS system. It just seems like they're massively upgrading these systems.
No. All that was, they got the IRS to give them a list of people who, with the IRS, have a Social Security number, foreigners, or file tax returns. But even there, honestly, I'm for getting all this illegals. They should go back where they came from. They come to America properly, like I did. Okay, I came here legally. They should come here legally, and that's fine. We're immigrants, nation immigrants. Okay, but 10 million people to arrest and kick out is very hard. It takes a lot of manpower. That's why Trump is smartly saying, look, we'll give you $1,000 if you go. We pay for your ticket. Go back to your home country where you belong, and then we'll give you $1,000 over there to where you are, Mexico or El Salvador, or wherever you are, just to make sure you're there, because that's a lot cheaper than they have to pay all these people to identify and take these people, put them in a facility temporarily before they put them on an airplane and ship them out. It's a lot less expensive to do it that way. So, just, no, don't worry about it. The IRS is just a bunch of hogwash. You got to go to our website and study yourself, especially step 3, okay, on our website. Okay? Do that, and you're going to realize that, no, this is all just a bunch of bluff. You are just fine, Tess, okay? And call my office. Anybody will help you rejoin again and protect you 100% for all the stuff you got. Yep. No problem, Tess, okay?
I'll have to do it then. I will do that. Thank you.
You're welcome, Tess. My pleasure. All right, we're going to go back to area 214 for a caller. Apparently the problem was our end, and my IT people fixed that, thank goodness. Let's go to Susan again. Susan, if you can hear me now, give me how you heard about us, and then your question, please.
Hi. Yes. I been about a year in 2020, and they've been sending me.
Hold on. You got cut out again. Say it again. You got bad reception. Say it again. What's your problem again?
Okay. I live in Texas. I've lived in Texas forever, but I lived in Virginia in 2020 for not quite a year, and they've been sending me letters that I owe them almost $7,000. And I had talked to you before, and you said if you don't have any bank, if your bank's not in Virginia, then they have no legal right to, put a lien on me. But the last letter, and I think I sent it to you, I emailed it, and somebody said they were going to print it out and put it on your desk. They're saying they're going to send a lien letter to my bank, which is Bank of Texas.
Does the bank have a branch in Virginia?
No.
Okay. Susan, it's all bluff. If your bank attempts to give the money, you write to the bank and let them know you have no legal right or obligation and no protection. Just send my money to a foreign country of Virginia from Texas. If you do, I'm going to sue you in Texas courts and take that money back from you from a lawsuit. Okay? So you'll be fine, Susan.
Well, let me tell you one more thing. I wasn't thinking about this the first time we talked about it, because it's mainly my checking account that I have at Bank of Texas, but then I have, stocks and IRAs and stuff with Fidelity. Now, there are branches of Fidelity in Virginia. Would they be able to get to me through that?
Take it out. It's up to you.
What?
Take it out of Fidelity.
Take it out?
Yep. Fidelity operates in many, many states, I imagine Virginia too, just like the big banks. The big banks and institutions are your enemy. They're the ones that own the politicians. They're the ones that own the media, the military, industrial, media, financial complex. They're all one. Okay? Get your money out of Fidelity. Give it to some small institution that is not, so compliant with you making you a slave. Okay? It's up to you. You want to leave it there?
Okay.
Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Citibank, all those big institutions, stay away from, folks. Don't give your business to your enemies as much as possible.
Okay. And then what about, are they able to take it from if I have my mortgage with, I think, let me see. I'm trying to think of what my mortgage company's with. Cornerstone, maybe.
Okay.
Oh, Caliber.
Okay.
That's where my mortgage is with.
That's irrelevant. Your mortgage doesn't matter. It's irrelevant.
My mortgage doesn't matter. They can't go after my property.
No. Your property's not in Virginia, period. It doesn't matter who the lender is.
It doesn't matter who the lender is. But take it out of Fidelity, move on my whole, because I just moved it there less than a year ago, but just move it all out into a smaller bank.
It's up to you. If you want it not to be stolen, make sure the entity, organization, company you're doing business with, they have no branch or no presence in Virginia. That's all you're going to do.
Can you repeat that? I didn't understand.
Make sure the company you're doing business with in any way has no office or presence of any kind in Virginia. Because if they do, Virginia has power to put the gun to the head of them and say, give me whatever Susan has in your possession. And they say, yes, sir. You have power over me. I'll give it up to you. If that's what you want to do, it's up to you. If you want to pay him, it's up to you. If you don't want to pay him, it's all up to you. I'm not telling you to pay or not pay. At the end, the decision lies with you. I'm giving the options, whichever way you want to go. Okay?
Okay, so you think they could go through Fidelity? They could figure out that I have.
I would assume that. You better call and check to find out what states Fidelity has offices. They're out of Massachusetts. I imagine they have offices in Virginia, but I would be safe to say, call and ask them what states they have offices.
Yeah, they do. I do. I looked online. They do have offices in Virginia,
there
so
it
they
is.
could go through.
Yep.
That they could legally do that, or they could try it.
Yep. Remember, America is not a country. We are not a country. America's 50 countries in a union. Same as in the European Union, you have France, Germany, Italy are 3 countries in a union. Would anybody claim France is not a country? Germany or Italy are not countries? Oh, of course they are. Just like Florida, California, New York are all countries within the American Union. There's a European Union there that France and Germany are part of. Okay, get that in your head. They cannot go in the other country of the union and take your stuff because they're separate countries, just like there or here. All right?
Okay. All right, thank you.
You're most welcome. Thanks for calling, Susan. Good questions you're asking. Let's see now. We have area code 515 caller, 646-360-920, and the 216 area code caller got added at the end. 515 area code caller, please give me your first name, how you heard about Freedom Law School, and then your question, please.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. My name is Diane, and I heard about you, I believe, and he's not someone I currently listen to, but it was through Stu Peters.
Okay.
I believe.
All right, no problem. Diana, how may I help you?
But I've heard of you through other podcasters as well.
And others. Okay.
Okay, so I emailed you yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. You sent us the big package, or what did you email us?
It was a 2-page letter from the IRS, and it said you need to file your 2023 Form 1040 tax return.
Okay, I don't have that from me right now, Eric. He told me he got a bunch of those, about maybe 20, 30 of those things in the last few days. Those are dumb, junk, computer-generated letters by law. IRS is not required to send them to you. You're not required to answer them.
It should what?
IRS is not required to send those letters to you. And more importantly, you are not required to answer them. And legally, if you ignore them, it means nothing. All it is a propaganda scare system to get scared to file 1040 with the IRS. Wow! On the screen, you see the Wizard of Oz is there. That's a typical scare letter of the IRS. If you IRS wanted to and could come after you, and they had the resources to come after you, they would have sent you a notice of deficiency like the ones I show you. That would give you the chance to go to tax court. There's only less than 30 tax court judges. You take up a judge's time, a government IRS lawyer's time, IRS appeals officer's time, a court clerk time, all that, and they don't want to do that. They don't have enough judges to handle all this avalanche of cases. Okay? Because there's too many of us, not enough of them. And if you ever figure that out, there goes their way of life. You saw the cartoon I showed you earlier? By the grasshopper?
I saw a cartoon.
Yeah, that's the one. So watch it again. It's on step 3. You have that. Okay?
Okay. So I had that 2023 tax year, which would have been for you're dealing with it in 2024. that year I had chose not to file. That was the first year I did that.
Mm-hmm.
And then since I was so unsure about everything, and you understand, I'm sure, when people are new to you and they're trying to learn everything, there's a lot of like processes, mental processes you have to go through, and I'm still working through all that. But I went ahead and did that dollar payment. I did do that, and I
What do you mean, what dollar payment? What do you mean a dollar payment?
The dollar payment where you follow your process, where you can do an extension to file.
Oh, yes. Okay, there's no need to dollar. You pay nothing. You just send for an extension. Got it. Okay, good. All right.
Yeah, I did that extension thing just because I didn't know what I was going to choose to do. Well, then life got really busy, and I just didn't. Things were messy, and I just let go, trusting that I'm hoping, And lots of times it's like almost like a wash. It's like what I pay in kind of comes back, and sometimes it's state for. And I'm in Iowa, so Iowa.
Diane, I don't hear you when you got cut out. But Diane, you're in a bad area.
Maybe my W-2 income doesn't matter to you, but I had only $20, and then I did move some things around as far as IRA stuff. So then that was unusual. From a lawyer, there was this kind of a loophole that I think had something to do with Trump, and it was maybe the last year, and it was what got moved. There was exclusions for that. So even if I would have filed, it would have been excluded. But so it just, and I don't even know if all of that matters when you're not obligated to even file. It sounds like talking about that kind of stuff is irrelevant. Am I right?
Well, you got cut out a lot. We could not hear you very well. You have bad reception. But you're not required to file income tax because you're not from Washington, D.C., are you?
I am from Iowa.
Okay, then. You're not from Washington, D.C., you don't owe income tax, no matter, period. So you're fine. You're free. You could do it on your own if you want to, and you should be left over 99.9% of the time alone by the IRS. Okay? I'm telling you that's a fact.
Okay.
But if you want to have extra security blanket and extra safe, and if you believe in freedom, you want to be part of something good and wonderful, returning America to freedom and be safe at the same time, 100%, then the Restore Freedom Plan is for you to join. I will protect you 100% from any of all these worries. Don't worry about it. We'll take care of it for you. Okay?
I understand how, but then my income, it sounded like you had to pay minimum $2,000. Well, my tax, if I would even owe taxes, my income is way less than that.
Then don't join. I don't want your money. I don't want you waste your money if you need it. If your income is that slow, keep it. Don't join. You'll be fine. You'll be fine left alone. Don't worry about it, sweetheart.
Okay, but I couldn't deal with it by myself if I was in trouble. So it's do I go ahead and pay way more that I don't really have the income for?
I can't tell you. Listen, I can't tell you what to do because, look, if you want someone to protect you, you got to pay somebody something, but it takes minimal amount of work to be protected. $2,000 a year is less than $200 a month. I don't know what your income level is, but you got to make that choice. I cannot make that choice for you. You got to say, look, I'll be fine. I don't make that much. They're probably not bothering me anyhow, very, very, very small anyhow I make, and you're probably right about that. Or you might say, oh, I'm going to worry. I sleep better just to contribute less than $200 to a cause. I believe it. You're supporting worker freedom when you join the Restore Freedom Plan. This is not just a plan to protect you. You contribute for us to returning America, your children and grandchildren, to freedom. So if you want to do that, you feel good about that, and contribute less than $200 a month, then we can protect you at the same time. But at the end, how can I make that decision? That's going to be your free will choice. Evaluate everything for yourself and make that choice.
Can rejoin if it gets messier?
No, you decide to either divorce the swamp on your own or join the Restore Freedom Plan and contribute every year at least a minimum $2,000 a year to be 100% protected and contribute to the cause of freedom to restoring freedom in America. You got your choices to make. Yeah, but you have options. That's the good news. You have options. You're not a slave.
Yeah, I mean, my income's just really low. So, and now it's not
Hold
even
on,
as
how old
high
are
as
you?
that.
Diane, how old are you?
59.
You're 3 years younger than me. Diane, let me make you some money. You have a problem. Your problem is lack of money-itis disease. Heard about that? Lack of money-itis?
Lack of money.
You have no money.
Lack of money.
Yeah. It's called lack of money-itis.
Yeah.
You lack money. Listen.
Inflammation of the money, okay?
I can help you with that.
Itis is...
Call us. We send these Restore Freedom brochures free at no charge. Every day, go in front of a local supermarket in a nice neighborhood, hopefully. In nice neighborhoods, people make more money, usually. They generally, on the average, more intelligent, more read more educated. The real end business owners there. And pass on our brochures, hon. And put your name and phone number down there as far as referral source. Okay? At the bottom.
Repeat that. I didn't. You said something about a grocery store, and I didn't catch
Take
what
our
you were saying.
brochures in front of a grocery store. Pass out our brochures in front of your local supermarket. Okay? Pass out the brochures.
Okay.
And we'll pay you when someone joins. You can start with a minimum $500 membership of the $2,000. That's 25%. And you can earn referral rewards when someone else joins. You get, as a member now, 50% of someone else's membership. If the membership is $2,000, you get $1,000. If the membership is $10,000, you get $5,000. You pay off your membership, and the rest of it we send you cash in the mail. So you no longer have the lack of money-itis disease. You got money, hon. There's no reason for you to be poor.
Yeah, because I told someone about you already. She was a classmate of mine, and we were at an energy center, which is a whole nother deal about healing your body. And then I told her about it, but I'm not sure what she really thought about it. I think she was considering not filing, but she didn't know, and so I gave her your name.
Okay. Listen, you cannot just talk to 2 people or 5 people. You can talk to a lot more people. Tell your friends, family members, co-workers, text them, email them, follow up with them, and people in your neighborhood. Go pass our brochures to them. Many people will just ignore it and say, oh no, I don't know what this is. I'm not interested. Conspiracy theory, extremist, wacko, whatever prejudgment they make in their mind, who cares? You're not interested in 9 out of 10 people who are scared and are closed minds. You are looking for that 1 out of 10 people who's got an open mind, who's got eyes to see, ears to hear, open mind that can think for him or herself like you. Believe it or not, there's more people like you out there amongst the ignorant. Okay? It's a numbers game. That's why I offered you to mail our Restore Freedom brochures for free at Freedom Lawsuit's expense. And you go out there, pass it to other people. You have a job, they'll pay you well. Just go out there and start priming the pump, passing it out, more and more, talk to more people, and it'll happen. Why do you think I did Freedom Law School back in 92? There was no Freedom Law School.
So you can send me some, like, 10 brochures or something?
Yeah, 10.
Or however.
How about 100? What's 10? You talk to 10 people only? Come on.
What's that?
You got to go in front of supermarkets, too, not just your friends, you know, if you want to make some money. Okay? All right, listen, I love to talk to you some more, Diane, but other people are going to get their questions answered, okay? So thanks for calling. I appreciate you very much, okay? I'm gonna pass on flyers, folks. You know, you got to get out there and make it happen.
What did you say you were?
What's that?
You said you were 2 years older than me?
3 years older. I'm 62.
Oh, all right. Thank you,
and I'm at it. Look how I'm out there with energy talking to people on a regular basis. But I was 29 when I started. And I started going to meetings, freedom meetings, patriot meetings, okay? I just came from a big Bitcoin conference talking about this stuff to people, okay? To over 20,000 people that were there.
I've gone down the healthcare kind of rabbit holes, and so people, like I share stuff with people about what's going on to help protect their bodies to be healthier. So I like to share and promote.
Yes, people that are interested in alternative natural health remedies versus a corrupted medical system we have now, okay, they generally are more open-minded to learn new things, because to stop believing in the holy doctors of the medical system, almighty doctor, oh medical doctor, oh hospital, you know so much about health, oh what do you tell me to do? But people can get away from that and say, you know what, these guys don't know about health. All they do is give you drugs, poisons, and burn you and cut you up and throw your body parts away. Okay?
That's all they know.
Yeah, so these people that have seen that, those people are more open-minded, and they're open to this also. So take their brochures, give it to your friends in your health meeting groups. Text to them.
So how do I get your brochures?
I now said this is my third time. Call Freedom Law School at 813-444-4800. Again, 813-444-4800, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern Time Zone weekdays. And tell us you want some of the brochures. We'll mail it to you. Okay?
Sounds great. I appreciate your time. Have a great evening.
Thank you. Same with you, Diane. Thanks for calling. We're going to go right now you're most welcome. Let's go to our 646 area code caller. You're live, my friend. Give us your first name, how you heard about Freedom Law School, and then your question, please.
Hey, Paymon. Good evening. My name is Angelo, and I found you through, I guess he said he was an associate of yours. I think he's a pretty private person. His name starts with N. Probably know him.
N? An associate with an N, like Nancy?
Yeah, his initials are NB, and he's from Ohio. That's
what do you mean associate of mine?
I'm sorry?
You mean one of our members?
No, he said he was going to go into business with you at one point, but he ended up not doing it.
Okay, I guess a friend of yours. Okay, that's fine. All right, and how may I help you?
Well, I wanted to ask you, I guess the first simple question is, do you recommend this strategy for people who have at-will employment?
What do you mean strategy? What do you mean by at-will employment? I'm not sure what your question is.
At-will is just like they can let you go for whatever reason, whenever they want.
Okay.
And there's nothing legally you can do about it, I guess.
So what do you mean by strategy?
I mean, I guess it's like if you have that and you go in the back end and try to change your assessment, I figure that could be a reason for them to let you go if they wanted to.
That makes no difference at all when it comes to the income tax issue. You don't owe income tax, period, whether you're an at-will employee or not.
Mm-hmm.
It's not relevant at all.
Well, it was interesting because the way at my last employment, I got laid off last June, but I had set it up like we were doing payroll through ADP, so I could go in the back end and change my exemption that way without having to talk to anybody at my employer. But I just started a new job a month ago, and when I was setting up for payroll, the only way to file exemption was, they said, to email support at this company. So it's like their payroll company. So it would have to go through a human, and that could probably like trigger something. And they would let my employer know. I figure that could cause problems, especially being a new employee.
I don't understand what you just said. That is just your paperwork you're referring to give you a better answer.
It's just pretty much, for me to file exemption now at my new job, I have to email a support person. So a human will get that information instead of me just doing it on the back end myself.
So do that.
Yeah. That makes me nervous because then I think they would just let my employer know, hey, you have an employee find an exemption.
So what?
And then they would just lay me
It's
out.
not their business. It's not their business at all. The employer is supposed to accept whatever you give them. That's it. Get all the ideas out of your head. Stop imagining things that haven't happened. And probably will not happen.
All right.
Okay, you'll be fine.
All right, I'll think about that.
Don't think too much. I can tell you're an intuitive guy, imagination kind of a guy. Don't let that get your head get you spinning. You have that tendency. I just see that in you. Don't do that. That's your weakness. It's good to be creative and imagination, but don't let it take them too much because you're gonna make this whole cloth out of this little thread of all this imagination of what could happen, what could go wrong. You're gonna kill yourself. Come down to reality. Reality. Be present at the reality moment right now. Don't assume this stuff. Okay? You're gonna be just fine. Give it a try. 99.99% not a problem at all. No guarantee, but you don't worry about it because 0.1% it may be a problem, so I'm not going to do it at all. That's the recipe for losing in life. Never trying anything. Is that what you want?
Yeah. No. But I'm just nervous because I just came off of 10 months of unemployment, so I'm just scared of having.
They will not fire you because of that. There's no issue. It's not an employment issue they're going to fire you. They want you to work. That's fine. Okay? If, you may want to join us now or afterwards. We can help you with that issue also if it becomes a problem. Okay? But you won't need us. I bet you'll be no problem on your own. Fine. You'll be good. Okay?
Okay. All right. Thank you, Paymont. Appreciate it.
My pleasure, my friend.
Have a good night.
Okay. We got right now, let's see, area code 360 caller, 920 caller, and then 216 area code caller, correct? Yeah, okay, all right. Well, 360 caller, please give us your first name, how you heard about Freedom Law School, and then your question, please.
Hi, Payman. Hey, my name is Norm. I'm from Washington State, and I heard about you from a friend a few years ago, and I have been happily not paying taxes since 2021. And I want to thank you. Yeah, I want to thank you for all of your research, your videos, your sense of humor, the information. It's all been great. I love it.
Thank you.
So, my issue and my story here is I just turned 65 a couple days ago, and I was looking at get my Social Security. And so I went to the site and downloaded the paperwork, and one of the things it said self-employment details for the current year and prior 2 years. And I thought, well, I do have some self-employment income. So I called my local Social Security office, and I said, what is these details? Basically, you probably know the story. They're like, oh, you need your Schedule C and this and that. Basically, they wanted to see my last 2 income tax returns. And I said, well, I don't have those. And they said, well, they're going to ask about them. And it sounded like it was really going to, foul things up. So I just wanted to get your take on what to do.
Be truthful. That's all. Tell them, I don't have one. Where do we go from here? I don't have one. What do you want me to do? Make up something I don't have? See what happens. Now, that's one. Now, let me tell you some other story. About 25 years ago, my good friend, the late, great Robert Clarkson, was a good patriot. Helped a lot of people. He told me, Paymon, you know how they based the amount of Social Security they pay you? I said, no, how? It says your last 2 years of tax returns. He said, you could actually, if you wanted to, file 2 years of tax returns as self-employed. Put whatever number you want on there. Put the high number if you want to. You made 140,000. I think that's how much is the highest income. That you know that after that you get the more. If the higher number you put on there, the more you get. And based upon that number, they're going to give you Social Security. If you put the higher amount, you're going to get the higher amount. You can file it with the IRS and don't pay the IRS anything. And the Social Security will give you monthly income. And if you put the higher number, they'll get that higher amount they'll pay you. I think that right now the minimum is about $1,200 per person. And the highest amount is about $3,500 as I understand it. And I said, well, okay, that's interesting. And he said that, by the way, if they were down the road, they want to come levy your Social Security because, they can do that. Guess what? You can only by law take 25% of that. Or 15%, I forgot which one it was, 15 or 25%. Anyhow, a low amount. You get to keep the rest. So he said, you could do that if you want to. I said, wow, that's all it is? What a scam. They make people feel that every year you're putting money in for your retirement, which is not. I know that. The money gets spent right away when you paid into it decades ago down the rat hole, deep hole of corruption, criminality, waste of the deep state, bank bailouts, and wars to murder people. They're not paying you for money they saved up for you. They're taking it out of the current people that are being forced to take it out of their paycheck by the employers. So that's how the system is. Okay, now myself, I'm not a socialist. I don't like socialism. I don't like collectivism or communism. I'm not a communist. Okay, and I recommend people either don't get into it. I don't plan to ever file for Social Security. Okay, I recommend people don't. But if you do that, let me ask you to do this. Recognize that the money you've been given is money that's stolen money from a bunch of thieves. You try to get some of the money back. And because you cannot get the money back to its actual rightful owners, then do the best you can to give it to the actual owners by doing something good like Georgia Restore Freedom Plan or Freedom Law School or some other cause or organization you believe in to, get rid of this corrupt system, to stop the government, federal government, stealing from innocent Americans. Okay? But that's the parameters how it works. Okay? Yeah, if you don't file, I don't know what they'll say, what they'll do. Let's see what happens. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay. You're welcome, my friend. All right. Let's go to the next caller we have right now. Let's see, before we get to 920 and 216, let me add area code caller 515 who just joined with a question. Area code 920 caller, give me your first name, how you heard about Freedom Law School, and then your question, please.
Hello, Payman. This is Jack, and I've been with Freedom Law School for quite a while. If you saw me, you'd recognize me, I believe. I've been to several of your rallies, and I've actually been to your house and had dinner.
I know, Jack. I recognize your voice, my friend. I know who you are, my friend. As a Restore Freedom Plan member, Jack, you're entitled to unlimited consultation. Besides, we do all the legal work for you. We pay the attorneys for you, all that. So you don't have to call and ask me. I got other people trained here. They can answer your question. They can take a lot more time to answer your questions than I do. But if you want to ask me directly, that's your option. You can do that as well. I just want to remind you, you don't have to just, ask me. That my people, their job is to take as much time as necessary to answer your questions fully for you, Jack. So what's in your mind, my friend?
Very quickly, I have two questions. You used to have your tax victories on your site, and I can't find
Step 4.
The other one.
It's on step 4. You go down on 7 steps. You go step 4. Okay? Take courage from our victories. Once you click on continue to step 4, and you go down that page, okay, there's two categories of victories. On the top left is Paymon, president of Freedom Law School, okay? And my victories on the top right is the student victories of Freedom Law School. That none of them gone to prison, nor had their paycheck or bank account levied or home and business seized by the IRS. So I'm going to click, for example, on the top left, Mount Victories, okay, and President Freedom Law School, and it gets there, okay. Oh, got to scroll down. Okay, here we go. That's my victories. Now, if you go click on the other one, on student victories, you go down, and you're going to see with student victories. You're right. The link is not working, guys. You got to fix it. Student victories link is not working. Jack, thank you for bringing it over to our attention. I'm going to have my IT person fix it. Well, that's not working for some reason when you click on that. Let's see. Yep, we've got to fix that. We'll fix it. You got it. Okay. Thank you, Jack. What else do you want to share with us? Thank you for taking the time, Jack, and pointing out our little boo-boo we got to fix. Yes, sir.
I was actually talking to an IRS agent today, and I brought up the fact that Freedom Law School is no longer considered a tax evasion program. And I was wondering if you have any documentation on that, or if you just found out somehow that they're no longer investigating you.
Did he tell you that, or are you asking me? I'm not clear about your question. What did he tell you, the agent?
No, I told him that because a while back you had a video on it, and I was looking for it and I couldn't find it. That's why I'm asking now if you just found out they weren't investigating you anymore, or if you got any information on that on paper.
Jack, are you kidding me? IRS has been investigating me for over 30 years continually. More than one kind of investigation at a time, many often. And, you know, back in 1994, before there was the Freedom Law School, it was the first time for a year and a half they were looking at me, having meetings, looked at me as a, potential fraudulent tax protest promoter. That's victory number one. I have on our website that I can show you guys on if you watched it. Yeah, they call me a potential fraudulent tax protest promoter. After about 18 months, they closed up that investigation. And then in 2006, okay, the IRS, what they did, I had done an annual freedom rally with over 200 people attending that event, with over a dozen freedom speakers, okay, and the IRS Criminal Investigation Division agents, okay, won the record of the hotels, including they want to know who attended the rally. And so I sued the U.S. government and that IRS Criminal Investigation Division Special Agent Kirk Tambornini. Yes, I sued Mr. Kirk Tambornini in a federal district court, and the IRS lawyer forced the IRS special agent to retract his summons of hotel records, and it went away. As far as I know, I'm the only one in history that ever forced IRS to take that as Criminal Investigation Division summons of records of anybody else. So that's the second victory I've had all these years. So I don't know, before 2006, I was probably under investigation from year, 1999. My former gun-carrying special agent of the IRS, Joe Bannister, I put him out there on our first freedom rally. I'm sure it was after 7 years they did that, I'm guessing. Okay? And then about 6 years ago, I had a visit by another special agent. Came to where I was living, came to my home. Okay? And who knows how many years before that, he was investigating me criminally. And I imagine right now it's still going on, I'm sure. Still going on. And that's not all. Back in 2003, IRS send me a letter that they're looking at me as a potential fraudulent tax protest promoter. Okay, but this is not opening up, by the way. This thing, this link is not working. We got to fix that number 453. It's not opening up. Yeah. Okay. Reload the page. Okay. So, and that I wrote them back. They summoned me. They want to meet with me, and eventually, in 2016, at least over 13 years later, they finally wrote me and said, "Hey, Mr. Mottahedeh, we are concluding and ending our investigation of you as a, someone as a, tax shelter, abusive tax shelter promoter." Okay, but that's not all. There's more. Okay, the IRS also came after me in 2009, December 2009, and filed 13 years of tax liens on me. Page after page of tax liens, okay, for 13 years, going back to 1996, when I first started at Freedom Law School. And it took me 2 years, Jack, to finally have the IRS Appeals Office and the tax court officially zero out and remove all of those tax liens. So, yeah, I've been under investigation then. I'm under investigation now. They can look at me for violation of tax laws, for murder, for rape, for larceny, for kidnapping, all kind of stuff. They can go investigate all they want. But I've not done any of those, broken any of those laws. There's nothing there. For 30 years, they haven't found anything. Okay? So they're not going to find anything there. They can just spin their wheels all they want, Jack. All right, any other question before I go to the next caller, Jack?
No, that helped me a lot. Thank you.
You're welcome. All this, as I said, everybody, is on our website is step 4. You see all this documentation that is there for you to verify everything I said for yourself. And if you have any trouble finding anything on our website, call us at 813-444-4800. We'll guide you to the answer you're looking at available on Freedom Law School's website at freedomlawschool.org. Okay? So let's go now to the 216 area code caller. Please give me your first name, my friend, how you heard about Freedom Law School, and then your question, please.
Heyman?
Yes?
Hello?
Yes?
Okay. Yeah, my name's Ricky, and I heard about you from Tim Brown a couple years ago.
Speak up and get close to the microphone. You heard me from who?
I heard about you from Tim Brown on Sons of Liberty.
Oh, okay, very good. Sons of Liberty, great. All right, my friend, how may I help you?
Okay, I think you answered one question already, but I took an early IRA disbursement, and they asked me if they would pay the taxes on my behalf. It cost a fee to do that, and I told them no. I was just wondering if that was an issue of any sort.
You did great. That was fantastic. You don't let them steal your money up front and force you to file a 1040 form to get some of that crumb back. You did good.
Okay, so, but I mean, they don't report that or anything.
They might report on a 1099 form that they give that money to you, but so what? So what, okay, folks? Listen, they got you believing that because your employer sent a W-2 form to the IRS, or the third party, like the IRA custodian, sent a 1099 form to the IRS, or the partnerships in the K-1 form to the IRS, that the IRS, Satan, Big Godzilla is watching you, knows about you, and will get you, because they know about that. They don't, folks. You saw me, the IRS knows there's 63 million non-filers. How do they know that? Because they got their 1099 or W-2 form. And they leave him alone anyways. As long as they got you convinced, Ricky, that the big bad IRS sees me and will get me because that 1099 form that goes to the IRS or W-2, they got you. It's your belief that IRS will get you that actually gets you. To file a 1040 confession form on your own, put the rope around your neck, hand to the IRS because you're thinking, I better file on my own before the IRS comes after me. But they don't. It's all a game of deception. Satan deceives, makes you afraid with deception. Sun Tzu wrote a definitive book called The Art of War, a Chinese general thousands of years ago about how to win any war. He said this about winning war. Generals today, businessmen, politicians, study Sun Tzu on how to win any battle they got with politics, business, okay, or sports or otherwise. And that is what? The best way, he says, to win any battle is to convince your enemy that you are strong and they are weak. Pretend you're strong and make the enemy weak, seem weak. This way, your enemy will surrender with you with no fighting at all. You risk not your men in fighting, not your equipment, your swords, your machine guns, planes, nothing, because you just convince the enemy to surrender without a fight. And that's what the IRS is doing. That's what the 1099 W-2s work, because they convince you that Big Brother is watching you when they're not. Remember, there's too many of us. What the grasshopper said in the video I showed you, they outnumber us 1,000 to 1. And if they even figure that out, there goes our way of life. You assume that they're watching you, but they're not. Despite the 1099, despite the W-2 form, okay? You are free, Ricky, my friend. Enjoy your freedom. Any other questions?
Yeah, my wife has a question about her son. He's special needs. Here, I'll let her ask.
Sure.
So if I'm trying to get any benefits for him, like disability...
Speak up, please. Get close to the microphone. If your son, what about your son?
So if we're trying to get any benefits for him, like disability or medical coverage, like they need a 1040 also. And how am I supposed to apply for anything for him, without having that?
Well, that's a good question. How did America do that in 1700s, 1800s, early 1900s? At those times, American people were not deceived to give their hard-earned money to the DC swamp, to the IRS. They would contribute their tithing to church that they wanted to give. They believed they should give to God, and they want to contribute, and the church will help people like your son. Now, the churches in America are starving because the pew has no money to give to the church after they pay the deception taxes to the IRS. Okay, so the real solution is get back to truth, get back to God, get back to truth. Okay, and really, are you a member of a church, by the way, or not?
Yeah.
Okay. May I ask what church?
It's a Baptist church around the corner.
Okay. I would contact them to help out. Okay. And nothing you could do. The thing you can do is this. May I ask, what is your son's disability? What's the basis of it? Is it a car accident, or what happened to him?
No, he was just born, just delayed cognitively. So he has some struggles just with, daily things, and, I don't know if he'll be able to live on his own or not.
Like a Down syndrome type of thing?
he doesn't have that, but just cognitive, IQ related, type of deficiency. So.
Well, I tell you what, my aunt, my mother's side, my youngest aunt had Down syndrome, and the parents took care of her, and of course, with Down syndrome, she passed away when she was, I think, just under 30 years old. But people like that get taken care of by people. Some government paycheck is not the solution. Okay, I really don't believe
No,
that.
I know.
Like, if you want to do that, yes. If you want to play that game, you have to fill out a tax form. And that's something you have to decide if that's what you want to do, because that you see that as the only way to take care of your son. If you want to do that, I understand. But generally speaking, I like to encourage people to, that, it's just a check. And I believe in you and believe in Ricky, your husband. You guys are very good people, hardworking, positive people. And you can work more efficiently or do a better job and help more people. And one thing you could do, take our Restore Freedom brochures and go educate your pastor. Yep. We're coming up with a free church freedom plan. And that's what we're going to do for your church. I hope your pastor is a real man of God without fear of anybody except maybe God, and loves the truth. And we tell him about this stuff. He hopefully has open eyes to see, ears to hear, and open mind to absorb and think for himself. The pew of that church can be freed up through Freedom Law School. If he lets me, I can talk to the whole pew, that congregation, and show them all they don't have to file income tax. Now they can pay that 10% tithing they want to give to the church. And the church, your church, right in your community, we have plenty of money to take care of your son, give to your son, better than the government would. And the church can expand its operation and work with God that it wants to do the way it really wants to do it. But what's stopping us from that is our own minds. In our own minds, we say, oh, no, my pastor will not go for that. Oh, no, it's too much for them. Oh, he's a 501c3 church and blah, 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 blah. Any excuse not to go try. Well, you know what, everybody? I know there's only one guaranteed way for you to lose in life. And that is not to try. If you don't try to talk to your pastor about Freedom Law School, how to feed a church at his pew, it won't happen. But you don't know. Give it a try. If the pastor doesn't work, you may want to go to the associate pastor first. I don't know. Talk to him first. Someone else with influence in the church, maybe church council. I don't know how your church is organized. I would just go to them, talk to them, and go up the ladder. This is how the American Revolution was won. The churches, the pastors were the integral part of American Revolution. We can't give up on them. But we got to wake them up to be the light of God, light of truth, light of freedom and knowledge, God's truth for the people and the parishioners. So that would be my suggestion. But at the end, the choice is yours. If you want to do it that way, file a tax return, that's one option. This other way would be the other. And again, let me suggest, we send the brochures of us, Freedom Law School, educating Americans why no law requires 99% of Americans to file and pay income tax and payroll taxes. Give it to your members of your church. Let them join. The pastor comes to you and says, what are you doing? He says, I'm trying to fund my son, taking care of him, and I want to free this church so they all can be the tithing to you, to this church that I believe in, to work with God. They can do that. That's what it's about. Now, they open the door for you to tell them what we're doing and say, you verify this. If I give you a quote from the Bible, you say, that's not in the Bible. We're going to sit down and talk about the Bible. Look at the Bible, right? Okay? Same thing here. Let's look at the laws. Let's see what the Supreme Court says. Laws published by Congress, and take it from there, see what the truth is for ourselves. All right, any other questions?
Okay. No, thank you.
You're welcome. I hope I was helpful to you. I hope. Okay, we have a 515 area code caller. I think that's it, right? There's a one caller below him, isn't it? I just blocked the number. You have a 514 area code callers. Let's go to him. There's one more guy after him from area code, I think 646 or something. Is it 646? Okay, all right. So the 514 area code caller, you're next. Give me your first name, how you heard about Freedom Law School, and then your question, please. He's not there? 406? Okay. 515 area code caller, skip him? He's not there? Okay, all right. We got only, there's nobody else there then. 646 caller is there. Yeah. I see 646 area code caller. Terminated also? All right, well, he answered already. That was Angelo. We already answered his question. Angelo. That's him, yeah. Okay. 406. I don't see 406. Do you see 406? Okay, I don't see the rest of his number. Okay, 406. Okay. 406 area code caller. You are next, my friend. Give me your first name, how you heard about Freedom Law School, and then your question, please.
Hello, Pingmon. My name is Clarence.
Say your name
Been
again.
a long-time fan of yours.
Repeat your name, please.
Clarence.
Clarence. Okay. All right. You get close to the microphone,
sir,
please. Get close to the
Yes,
microphone.
sir.
I can barely hear you. And how did you hear about Freedom Law School, Clarence?
Yeah. To do some online research to hunt you down. I'm pretty sure I just was doing some searching after some social media, finding other tax advisors, you might say, anti-tax advisors.
Okay.
Maybe it was a Google search, but I first refused to pay taxes back in like 2014 during what I felt was the illegitimate presidency of Obama as my own form of personal protest without any guidance at the time. But fast forward to last year I didn't pay also, and that was after reading Freedom Law School philosophy. But it wasn't until this year before tax filing time that I finally got those letters printed from your website, sent them to my senators, my state representatives. At any rate, what I'm asking you about today, I just got this most recent letter from the IRS. They're saying there is a $700 credit on your account, but we haven't received your tax return. We credit payments or other credits to your account to the tax year above. Limitations claiming a refund of tax year will soon expire. You risk losing the right to potential refund of your credit or payments. So what you need to do, you file your return. If you haven't done so, if you already filed, newly signed copy, or if you want us to transfer the credit to another tax form, tax period, or tax identification number. I just curious your advice what I should do. I'm thinking to possibly just ignore that. Do you think this is like a dog whistle by the IRS trying to get me to call in, or what's your opinion on that?
Without seeing the letter, I cannot give you any opinion as to what it is. I've got to see the paperwork, everybody. Okay, and I'm going to go through paperwork of one more person, a couple more people about it after your question. I don't know. I got to see that letter. Get that to me, and I'll review it next week, my friend. Okay?
Send you a copy?
Yeah. And make sure that my people know it's for the next Freedom Hour. So they put it in front of me like this. These ones are in front of me right now. Okay? And then next Freedom Hour, I will go over them at no charge for you at the next Freedom Hour.
Very good.
Okay?
Thank you, Paymon. God bless you for all you do.
My pleasure. I got two more people with paperwork to go over. If you want to have a question, call the number 424-552-1299. Press 1. You'll be next to get your question answered. Again, the call number is 424-552-1299. And then on your telephone keypad, press 1. Meanwhile, we have a question here from Mark by email about estate tax. I own an airplane, and I'm giving flight instructions in the airplane. I live in Arkansas, and I have to charge. My question is, do I have to charge the customer taxes for my services? Okay. All right. I do not plan to pay state income tax due to the fact that I believe I'm not required to, because much of their tax information is based on federal income tax filing. Attached a couple of copies of what I found so far. If you have any guidance on this subject, please let me know. Okay, well, the question he's asking about, he sent me a printout, I guess from Arkansas's sales tax handbook, it appears to be. Okay. Well, I can read just as like you, my friend. It's plain English. I'm not an expert on any and all taxes. I'm an expert on federal taxes, income taxes, payroll taxes, self-employment taxes, but not oil taxes or cigarette or alcohol or these taxes. But what it says here, it says what transactions, tax liability of goods and services. Okay. It says in the state of Arkansas, sales tax is legally required to be collected from all tangible physical products being sold. Okay. About services, it says Arkansas does not usually collect any sales tax on the vast majority of services performed. Okay. So this means that a graphic designer would not be required to collect sales tax, while someone working in the creation of a clothing may be required to collect the tax. So no, based upon what you gave me, you don't need to collect any sales tax in Arkansas. All right? So I hope that helps you, Mark. But the question was right there in front of you, my friend. Now we have the big pile. Somebody sent me about maybe 30, 40 pages or more. I don't know. So I didn't read this carefully because it's more than 10 pages. But I looked at it. I'm going to give some information to the person who sent it to me. And this person went to, it's a federal court case. This person sued the federal government. Paula is the first name. And his suit was dismissed by the federal district court in July 13, 2023. Okay? And they did that because, I don't know exactly why, because it was a very long, look at the complaint is very long and tiny font, okay? But I didn't read it, but you cannot sue the IRS except in certain specific circumstances, okay? And that is because of the Anti-Injunction Act, okay? 26 U.S.C. 3421, U.S. Code .house.gov. You'll see the copy of that from the U.S. government's official legal website, okay? That's prohibition of suits to restrain assessment and or collection of taxes, okay? You see Title 26, Internal Revenue Code online, everybody. And prohibition of suits, yeah. So Section 7421. It's a horrible law in my opinion. But it says, except as provided in these about a dozen sections, okay? No lawsuit or suit for the purpose of restraining the assessment or collection of any tax shall be maintained in any court by any person, whether or not such person is a person against whom such tax was assessed. So I believe that's the main reason why it's throughout your lawsuit, because you cannot just go to court and stop the IRS in any way to assess or collect the tax. I've not read your thing in detail because I don't have time. I literally don't have time to sit down and read a complaint, which is, let's see, how many pages is it by itself? It's about 25 pages, and the other documents, responses, to give you more on that exact analysis. But I would suggest you call me, Paula, during a Freedom Hour if you have a question, Or if you've done all this work to spend all your time, write this big complaint, okay, maybe you could spend, if you want, pay for an hour consultation with one of my trained experts or myself to see what your real issue is, your real problem is, and see how I can help you correctly. All right? So that's all I can say in that case to be helpful, because she's not here for me to answer any more questions for her. And I don't see anybody else with any more questions online. We have no more callers, right? So with that, people, I want you to know we are winning the war for freedom. IRS claim that they don't have resources to come after non-filers in any way at all. Okay? And they changed their mind on that. Okay? I showed you in step 3 how that, and then, but we forced them. We forced the IRS to at least send these dumb computer-generated letters to non-filers, okay, and a very tiny amount of non-filers get notice deficiencies, okay. But the IRS is barely doing anything at all. So that's good news that they know the slaves have woken up. No longer will American people be slaves. Goliath is rising. These bureaucrats, these crooked DOJ lawyers, IRS employees, and crooked judges who tied Goliath down, the American people are waking up. Because we outnumber more than 1,000 to 1. So next week, call in, I'll talk about these scare letters they try to send you to sign those 1040 confession forms to voluntarily become a slave of the IRS. So with that, I give you all my love. Listen, on your drive to and from work or errands to freedomlawschool.org are 7 steps to free yourself of IRS deception, fear, robbery, and slavery. It's your freedom, not mine. You have to take the steps to free yourself. Take advantage of driving time. Listen and learn and live free. And love everybody you know, family members, friends, co-workers. Tell them about Freedom Law School, our brochures. Text them, email them, social media, post about Freedom Law School. And let's have you be free and America be free country once again.